Once upon a time there were two brothers. One was rich, and the other was poor. The rich one had plenty of bread, and his cattle shed was full of livestock, and his field yielded generously. And he had plenty of money, but the poor one sometimes had nothing to eat for breakfast. The poor brother had also once been rich, until his son brought misfortune upon them. He brought home a blue bottle he found on the riverbank and uncorked it. And from that bottle, something small suddenly crawled out, scattered, and in an instant, darted under the stove. By the time the son told his father about his adventure, it was already too late. The misfortunes had comfortably settled in the poor brother's home, no matter what the man did to get rid of them. He went to healers, and he prayed, and he begged, nothing helped. Those accursed creatures remained living under the stove, sometimes crying pitifully at night, and during the day, they would bother the woman as she tried to work in the house. And the rich brother lives in luxury, and it seems he has everything. Only one thing is wrong. God does not give him children. What didn't he do? He donated to the church and hired people to sing, aka atheists, and prayed himself in the morning and evening before the icon saw in vain. The rich man sees that God does not accept his prayers, so he went to his poor brother and asks him, "You pray too, brother, that God might send me children, then I will take you as a godfather." "Fine, I will pray." So the poor man prays to God for himself, for his relatives, and then he prays for his brother, that God might send him at least one child. A year passed. The poor man found out from people that his brother had a child. He was very happy. The prayer had helped, and God had heard. He comes home and says to his wife, "And what's there, man? And my brother has a family." His eyes, once clouded with worry, now sparkle with a newfound light, reflecting the dawn of a new beginning.
"Really a family? Indeed, a family. From whom did you hear, man?"
People said. "And you know, wife." "What?"
"What, man?"
"I'll go to my brother's for the christening, since he said that if God gives him a child, he would ask me to be the godfather."
"Don't go," says the wife. "You'll only be saddened, because if your brother wanted to take you as a godfather, he would have come for you himself or sent someone long ago."
Or maybe he is very busy with the preparations for the christening, and his household is so large. It's not a simple matter to manage a large household. "I'll go to my brother anyway, dear wife. We are family after all." The wife sighed and waved her hand. She knew she couldn't change her husband's mind. The poor brother went. He arrives, satisfied and happy, greets his brother and his wife with great joy. The poor brother steps out, his hopeful gaze tinged with hesitation as he faces the imposing estate. But the older brother, sullen as an owl, doesn't even say thank you in response, but asks sternly, "Why did you come? Just tell the truth." "I know you, you wretch." And the poor brother was so confused that he blurted out, "It's me," he says. "I came to you, brother, to ask for a horse. There's nothing to heat the house with, so I'll go to the forest and gather some firewood. It's for a task I must complete. I'm feeling generous today," replies the rich brother. "Take it, but see that you don't put too much on the cart, so as not to wear out my horse." The poor brother harnessed the horse, drove home. "Come, my dear, let's go to the forest. We'll bring some firewood for the stove." And the wife calls from the house,
"I can't, my dear."
"I was carrying buckets of water, tripped over the threshold, fell and twisted my leg. You'd better ask the misfortunes. Let them help with the wood if they don't want to freeze under the stove in winter." The man scratched his head. He felt so sad. It was unbearable. He went into the house and said desperately to the stove, "Come on out, you misfortunes, from under the stove. Do you hear what my wife is saying? We need to bring wood from the forest, or you'll freeze in the winter." What happened next? The man couldn't believe his eyes. With a voice thick with desperation, he summons the misfortunes, seeking aid from the shadows. The misfortunes crawled out from under the stove, and there were 12 of them, and scurried onto the cart. The little things are sitting in the hay on the cart, chattering, squeaking, and arguing. The man silently got on the cart, cracked the whip, and they set off. Amidst the natural serenity of the forest, their bickering creates a stark contrast, signaling the disruption to come. They arrived at the forest. The man unharnessed the horse, let it graze, silently gathers firewood, puts it on the cart, and thinks about something. And the misfortunes swarm after him. They jump on the firewood, getting in the way more than helping. The man looks. An old and dry oak tree is standing in a clearing. The man thought for a moment and came up with an idea. He took an axe from the cart, began to chop the oak, split it halfway, inserted wedges, and then says to the Misfortunes, "Brothers, my little doves, help me split this tree. I can't manage without you."
How? Say the little creatures. Are we going to help you? With what? There is no axe in the whole wide world small enough for us to lift. We are small.
"You, quick," replies the poor brother, "may be small, but you are clever, and you can help me even without an axe. Put all your hands into this crack and pull the oak apart. Let half of you pull one way, and the other half the other, and it will split." The Misfortunes were delighted that they wouldn't have to look for an axe. They rushed headlong to the dry oak, stuck their hands into the crack up to their elbows, and pulled and pulled. And the man in the meantime struck the wedges with the back of the axe. The wedges flew out, the two halves of the log slammed together and hold all the Misfortunes by their hands. And the creatures began to wail and cry, and so pitifully and so loudly that they summoned a storm. What happened next? A whirlwind rips young trees out by their roots, bends the grown ones to the ground, and breaks the old ones. One tree fell on the cart and smashed it to pieces. Another killed the horse. The poor brother barely escaped from the forest. "Well, thank God I wasn't killed. May they be gone, the accursed Misfortunes," he said to himself when he got to the village. He had to go to his brother and repent for his sins, for he had neither horse nor cart. Maybe, on a holy day, his brother would forgive him this sin? The poor man stands at the gate and doesn't know how to confess to his brother what he has done. And his brother is walking around the yard and looking sideways at the poor man. Finally, he says, "Why are you standing there, brother? Neither here nor there. Huh? Why don't you say anything? Where is my cart? Where is my horse? Don't tell me, God forbid, some misfortune happened and you broke the cart?" "Oh," the poor brother answers sadly, "if only it were just the cart." "What then? Maybe you killed the horse?" "Oh, if only it stopped at the horse. So you broke the cart and killed the horse?" "Oh, yes, brother. Oh, yes, my dear. To be precise, it wasn't me, it was the storm. It was all them." "Oh," and he fell silent. He stands there, sighing heavily, and the rich brother in the meantime scolds and curses him. First for the cart, then for the horse. He scolded, and then says, "Oh, brother, I don't believe in that terrible storm." Well, where was that storm? Not a cloud in the sky. The sun is shining. You're making things up, aren't you? "Fine, I'll take you," replies the poor brother. "But I won't get too close, because I left the little creatures there who summoned the storm." The rich man just laughed at the poor man's words. For who has ever seen creatures summon a storm? And he went to the forest with his brother. The poor man led the rich one to the forest and showed him from a distance the place where he had left the Misfortunes. And some small strange creatures have surrounded a half-fallen dry oak and are wailing pitifully. They saw the rich brother and began to beg him,
Free us, man, free us, our little dove. Let us go, our falcon. Evil people have trapped us here. They are the ones who killed your horse and smashed your cart. If you free us, we will tell you the truth, who exactly it was."
And they beg and plead, and so sweetly and so pitifully that the rich man felt sorry for them. Besides, he was very eager to know the truth, who killed his horse and wrecked his cart, because he didn't believe his brother's words. The rich brother freed the creatures, and they say to him,
"Well, Golden Man, you have freed us, so we have to thank you properly. We will live with you now."
"Phew, you," scoffs the rich brother. "Why would you live with me? You better tell me who killed my horse and wrecked my cart, who broke the trees in the forest. And in general, what kind of little things are you? You look like people, but not quite."
"That was all us.
Answer the little creatures.
We were the ones who sent the storm upon the forest, destroyed your cart, and killed the horse. We are just ordinary Misfortunes."
The rich brother shakes his head dismissively. "If you are Misfortunes, then a curse on you, and to hell with you. Why on earth would I need you? Go back to where you came from."
"Oh no, good man. There is a law. Whoever frees the Misfortunes takes them for himself. We were sitting, locked in a blue bottle, until your brother's son freed us, so we began to live with him. Now it's your turn."
"I don't want to see you in my house." The rich brother waves his hands angrily. "What kind of laws are these? Who invented them?"
"We can't."
Whine the Misfortunes.
The laws are such that from now on, we will live only with you, and only in your house.
No sooner had they said it than they jumped on the man's neck. He shook them off, shook them again, scratched, and shouted nothing helped. The rich brother went home with the misfortunes. He entered the house and they poured onto the floor and scurried under the stove. And from that time on, they began to live with the rich brother. A little time passed. The poor brother stopped being poor. He became a bit prosperous, as he no longer had any misfortunes. His wife recovered. His cow gave birth to 2 calves at once. His hen hatched 30 chicks. The local landowner, for re-roofing his house, paid the man handsomely. He gave him a foal and a pair of sheep. And what about the rich brother? People stopped calling him rich, for the misfortunes beset him so much that he became as poor as a church mouse. And now he often invents different ways to get rid of the small, pesky creatures. But he can't even lure them out from behind the stove with a blue bottle.